Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, we're going to be doing a little bit of technical analysis on Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency markets because it looks like the crisis that we outlined in yesterday's video with Bitcoin going down to and perhaps below $6,000 has been averted, at least for the time being, because over the last 24 hours or so, Bitcoin has managed to climb and crawl and claw its way back up above $6,300 and is currently trading up here around $6,339. Definitely looking a little bit more healthy than it was yesterday, and definitely looking like Bitcoin may not be going back down to $6,000. We're going to be talking about whether or not it will, or at least in my opinion, in today's video. We're also going to be talking about Ethereum and XRP in today's video because some very interesting things have played out on their charts that we need to discuss. As we can see, Ethereum has been doing very well, and XRP has actually jumped about 17.5% over the last 24 hours. So we're going to be discussing all of these topics and more in today's video, guys. So if you enjoyed today's video, as always, definitely consider dropping a like, hitting that subscribe button, and smashing the notification bell, guys. It does help out the channel if you do it, and would be appreciative if you did it. Without much further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. Bitcoin is currently trading at around $6,339. Like I said, we talked about how we needed Bitcoin to get back up above here and at least get support and at least see some kind of bounce down here around $6,200. We did not want to see Bitcoin break this uptrend right here. As you can see, if we did break that uptrend, I was fully expecting Bitcoin to go back down to $6,000, and I'm not very confident in the integrity of that level anymore. So I'm definitely happy that we have gotten some form of a bounce. Over the last 24 hours, Bitcoin is only up around 1.2%, but that's a very significant 1.2% because it does confirm, at least for the short term, the integrity of this bottom that we've set down here around around $6,200. Hopefully that will hold. Bitcoin's daily trading volume is hovering around $4.2 billion. Like we said, it's up about 1.2% over the last 24 hours. And as we look at Ethereum and XRP, we see some very interesting things on their price. If you go back and watch yesterday's video where I talked about this major pullback that Bitcoin has seen and my concerns about Bitcoin going below $6,000, I talked about in that video also how important it was for Ethereum to get back up above $200 because 24 hours ago, Ethereum was trading at $197. We did not want to see Ethereum turn $200 into a level of resistance. Luckily, that is not what has happened. We have gotten back up above it, and Ethereum's trading about $10 over the key level of support, and it's up about 6% in the last 24 hours. XRP has also had a very good day, hovering around 32 cents. It's up about 18% in the last 24 hours. As we can see here on the chart, it had a very, very good day here earlier on in the day. On the day I'm recording this, it's definitely been doing very, very well, and we're going to be talking about that a little bit later. Bitcoin's daily volume is around 4.2 billion, Ethereum's is around 1.8, and XRP is hovering around 600 million. There's an interesting thing that we want to discuss on total market capitalization charts. If we come here to the last 3 months, what we're going to see is that total market capitalization has come down to this level of around $191 billion, around $190 billion 3 times here in the last week and a half or so. And currently in yesterday's video, Bitcoin and total market capitalization came back down to that level for a third time. It seems maybe third time was the charm because we have gotten a bounce, and it looks like total market capitalization is going to be pushing its way back up above $200 billion. That's kind of a complicated question, but the gist of what I'm trying to say is that hopefully we do get back up above $200 billion. It's not really that big of a deal, but it is something that we would like to see because it is, of course, something that is bullish for the Bitcoin market. We'll take whatever we can get right now. As we sort by change over the last 24 hours here, what we're going to see is that the altcoin market is having a nice little rebound compared to what it was doing yesterday, where we saw probably about 15 to 20 altcoins in the double-digit negatives. We see about 10 altcoins in the green, in double-digit green today, about 8 to be more precise. As we sort by change over the last 24 hours, Aurora is down by about 17%. Aurora, if I recall correctly, was down by 25% in yesterday's video, so Aurora has not been having a very, very good week, but the rest of the altcoin market is looking rather green as we scroll down here on CoinMarketCap. I do believe that's everything that we want to discuss here on CoinMarketCap, so let's go ahead and get on to the technical analysis on Bitcoin. Like we outlined in yesterday's video, if you haven't watched that video, I do highly recommend it because this video builds a lot on what we talked about in yesterday's video. Like I said, click the I in the top right and you can go watch that if you want. But in yesterday's video, we discussed this major pullback that we saw Bitcoin do when it rejected up here from the zone of resistance at around $6,500 to $6,600. We saw Bitcoin come up to almost exactly $6,600 back here on the 14th, and we did get a major rejection. And we came down here and got support at $6,200. And like I outlined in that video, and like I outlined just a little while ago, it's very important that Bitcoin stays above this uptrend of support that we see right here, because if it doesn't, it's almost guaranteed that Bitcoin's going to come down here to $6,000, and I'm not all that secure. I'm not all that happy with the level of $6,000 anymore. Guys, it is a very, very strong level, but at the same time, that would be the 5th time and arguably the 6th time, actually, that we would have come down to that zone of support, and I'm not convinced it would hold a 6th time. We'll see what happens if we do go down there, but for the time being anyway, it doesn't look like that is going to be necessary because Bitcoin has gotten a bounce down here, and over the last 24 hours, Bitcoin, excuse me, has actually seen a nice little bit of upwards movement right here. Hopefully this continues. If we come here and look at RSI did bottom out here yesterday around 15. There's not a whole lot of technical analysis we can do here, guys. Right now, we just want to hope and pray that Bitcoin continues going up from here and stays above $6,200. $6,200 is the level of support you want to be looking at. If Bitcoin goes below that level, and more specifically, if it goes below this uptrend, watch out for a $6,000 Bitcoin, and if $6,000 breaks, well, maybe you want to open some short positions, but that's up to you. Anyway, like I said, not a whole lot to discuss on Bitcoin that we didn't discuss in yesterday's video, but I do have some interesting things that we want to talk about as it relates to Ethereum and XRP, so let's go ahead and get right into that. In yesterday's video, I didn't talk as much about XRP as I would have liked to, so I'm going to in this video. In a video a couple days ago, about 4 days ago it launched now, you can watch that video up here. I was talking about some technical analysis on Ethereum. I was doing some technical analysis on Ethereum, I should say, and what I outlined in that video was this downtrend right here. Let's go into the 4-hour chart so we can see it a little better. I outlined this downtrend right here with a pivot point over here, a set point right here, and I talked about how we may be getting resistance on it right here, and that actually lined up pretty well with an ascending wedge pattern, which we saw forming right here. And actually what we saw is, because of course it's an ascending wedge pattern, typically that's a bearish pattern, we did see a bearish breakout of that, and actually we saw kind of this head and shoulders formation that ended up bringing Ethereum down here to around $192, breaking this level of support at $200. Definitely not something you want to see Ethereum do, guys. $200 is a very, very important level of support for Ethereum. Granted, we have broken it a lot here in September, but it is a level that you want to see Ethereum hold because it is a big even, and it's just generally one of those numbers that you typically see markets trade around. $200, $100, $500, $1,000. Big evens like that are typically very, very important for the market. So right now what we're seeing Ethereum do is trading in between this downtrend, which I outlined just a second ago, and between $200. Now, of course, these two levels are going to cross eventually over here well into October. I don't think we're going to trade sideways for that long. But what I do think is going to happen from here is that Ethereum very well may come down here and test $200 again. If it breaks it, we're probably going to see Ethereum coming straight down to $167 again. If we can get above this downtrend, though, that's the interesting thing, because if we can get above this downtrend, we tried to today, actually. As you can see, this wick came up here and we rejected off of it. If we can get above that downtrend, that would be very bullish for Ethereum and could perhaps give us enough bullish sentiment back, along with the bullish sentiment that we're seeing coming from XRP today, to hopefully move the market in a more bullish direction, because this massive just cliff dive that Bitcoin did a couple days ago really was not very good for Bitcoin and total cryptocurrency sentiment around the market. It really just wasn't a very good thing to see. It wasn't exactly a bullish scenario. To see Ethereum break above this downtrend and start getting some more northerly price movement and getting some people actually making gains, getting people a little bit more invested in the definition of invested, get people back into the market and more happy with the market would definitely be a good thing. With that said, I do also want to talk about XRP because, like I've said, XRP has had a very, very good day. Now, there's been a lot of news around XRP. I don't have time to get into it in today's video. If you guys go into the Discord server, link in the description down below, go join the Discord server, go to the hashtag Auto News tab in the Discord server, and you can read the plethora of news articles from XRP. There has been a lot of news in the last 24 hours as it relates to XRP. There's been some news about a third-party program allowing you to do donations through YouTube and Twitch. There's been a lot of talk about XRapid, but we're not going to get into that today, but I do want to show you the chart because it has had a very major effect on XRP price action. As we can see, just a little over 24 hours ago, XRP was trading down here just a little bit above key support at 25 cents. Just about a little over a quarter, we saw XRP trading down here around 26 to 27 cents, and then we saw this major candlestick come in here, which jumped XRP about 15% in the span of 1 hour. Now, that's not something that you normally see, especially on XRP when XRP has been trending downwards for pretty much all of 2018. XRP has not been doing very well here in 2018. But in the last 24 hours, it has. And if we zoom out here to the daily chart, we actually see an interesting trend develop here as we start to get away from these levels of support down here at a quarter. Actually at exactly a quarter. I was about to say 1/4%, but at a quarter valuation for XRP, we see XRP setting this kind of double bottom down here, which is definitely an interesting trend. We've seen a lot of altcoins set double and triple bottoms in this bear market, and they haven't held, so be very careful with this. But the fact that XRP has gotten a major rally here, at least a major bullish bullish price movement, maybe not a rally, but a major bullish price movement away from this double bottom, perhaps that gives this double bottom a little bit more security. Perhaps that makes this double bottom a little bit stronger. Perhaps that means that XRP is going to continue moving up from here. For the time being anyway, it looks like XRP is going to continue flagging out here. As we can see, we have a little flag here that we can kind of draw, something like that. We're probably going to see XRP breaking out of this by the time you guys see this video. And with the way XRP has been moving, it's probably going to break bullish. We'll see what happens. But at the end of the day, we also have to keep our eyes on things like the RSI down here. The RSI is overextended, and XRP is obviously an outlier in today's video, in today's technical analysis, because the rest of the altcoin market is doing well. Not quite 17% in 24 hours. Well, tell me in the comment section down below what you guys think about today's technical analysis. Do you think that XRP is going to be able to continue this little upwards movement? I think based on all of the fundamental news that we've seen coming out of XRP, I think it's probably going to have a little bit more juice in the tank. I think XRP is probably going to continue moving up a little bit more from here. Also, tell me what you think about Ethereum, because I'm definitely interested to hear your thoughts on Ethereum. I think Ethereum, if it can stay above the level of $200 and get back up above this downtrend, that would be very bullish for Ethereum, and we'd see Ethereum come up here and start testing some important levels of resistance, like the moving averages here. We have the 20 daily exponential and simple moving average trading just above this downtrend. If we can get above both of those, Ethereum could very well start coming up here and trending towards this 50 daily simple moving average and hopefully kicking off some new kind of rally, perhaps back up to $400. I definitely see a lot of bullish potential in the market. Whether or not that's going to convert to bullish price action is a completely different story, guys. I am still concerned about Bitcoin. I am still concerned that we still didn't manage to get above such a trivial level of resistance as $6,600. I am still very, very concerned on the market. I'm simply laying out a scenario in which some of these altcoins could perhaps have some kind of recovery. Like I said, tell me in the comment section down below what you guys think of today's video. I do think that Bitcoin and the altcoins do have the potential to keep moving up from here, but as with anything, time is going to tell, and we're going to find out when the market actually decides to tell us. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this video. I do want to thank each and every single one of you guys for watching. As always, like I plugged earlier, if you guys are interested, definitely consider joining the Discord server. There's a link to do so in the description down below. But like I just said, that's going to do it for this video, guys. I do want to thank each and every single one of you for watching again, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.